Today's topic is
Chinese education versus Western education.
So, Simok, where are we headed today?
Well, since today's topic is education, I figured we'd head to the university that not only I teach at, but 16,000 students here in Huizhou go to.
Okay, interesting. Well, this is quite an interesting topic, and basically, well, let's start it off like this. It's something that I noticed ever since getting to China, and I'm sure a lot of people overseas have noticed this as well. But Chinese people in general tend to lack creativity. They are incredibly capable and able, you know, they have the ability to do things, but to create doesn't seem to be their strong suit. And that's why you get a lot of, you know, copyright issues, and people, they can basically reverse engineer an iPhone and make an almost exact copy, but they can't come up with the original idea of an iPhone themselves.
No, Winston, what stage of education would you say that actually starts at?
I'd say it starts right at the beginning, in kindergarten.
Oh, really?
I'll tell you why. I have some experience. You know, when I first got to China and I was finding my feet, I taught kindergarten for a while.
Okay.
And during that time, I noticed that basically creativity is not, how could you say, it's not encouraged.
Okay.
And from a very young age, I'm talking 3 years old, 4 years old, children are studying pretty advanced mathematics. They're studying how to write Chinese characters. There's a lot of workload on these young children. After school, they're going to go learn piano or violin. And I'm talking about children that have basically just learned how to talk.
Sure.
So there's an incredible amount of pressure on these young children to learn and study, even from a very, very young age. So there is no playtime. I remember growing up, when I was in kindergarten, all we did was like finger paint and, you know, listen to stories and sing songs and mess around. But over here, they're studying extracurricular activities and really not having a lot of time to play and develop that creative streak. And, well, maybe you can explain why there's such a lot of pressure for these young children to learn so much.
As you said, the lack of creativity is encouraged from a very young age, and it keeps going all the way through primary school, middle school, and high school, and that's because the be-all and end-all of a Chinese student's life is the Gaokao exam, which is basically a placement test that tells them which university, if they can go to a university, and which one they can get into. And there's ranking systems in place, there's homework out the wazoo. Kids are under so much pressure and so much stress to rank well so that they can do well on the Gaokao, that their parents are pushing them, their teachers are pushing them, the school's reputation is pushing them. And it's just so important, and it's a lot of strain on the child. So there's really no room for creativity, because when it's so standardized and there's a test that dictates your success, then you don't have any room to express yourself and do art and music and all that kind of stuff unless it's actually benefiting the Gaokao exam. So yeah, it starts from a super, super young age.
Absolutely. These poor children, some of them are even driven to suicide because of the Gaokao.
Yeah.
It's insane here. It's so important that during the Gaokao exam times, if you're stuck in traffic in Shenzhen, you can call the traffic police and they will come on a motorcycle and fetch the child out of the car and actually drive them to their exam through the traffic. It's really the most important thing in a young Chinese person's life, is to pass that Gaokao.
Going back on the suicide thing, it's not something I've never heard of an 11-year-old child killing themselves back home. But you'll read stories about it every single year. Even in Huizhou, last year, a kid jumped out of the building due to Gaokao pressure, and I think they were 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. But that's the way it is over here. So from a very young age, they have to prepare for this, and that's why creativity is not something that's really valued.
Sure.
Okay, so once a person passes this Gaokao exam, they then get placed in the university that, well, based on their marks, really.
Yeah.
And then what happens next? You're a university, I suppose I should call you a professor, right?
Okay. Why are you laughing?
It just doesn't strike me as the professorly type.
Well, you take what you can get. I studied computer science when I was in university, and the city here was lacking a computer science teacher. So I teach low-level programming, Python, and basic computer terminology here at Huizhou University. And one thing that I noticed is that despite a lot of the students not showing up to class or not passing the exams or not doing their projects, they would still pass with the other professors. And when I had students cheat or not do their work or, you know, fail an exam, I wanted to fail them, but I had people in my department tell me that that's not okay. And what I found out was most students in university in China pass. So you're talking 99 to 100% pass rate. So basically the theory is high school super hard, primary school is hard, middle school is hard, but once you get that ticket, if you pass Gaokao and you get into that university, you're pretty much guaranteed to pass.
Yes, that's true, because universities are more or less a business here, and your reputation basically pivots on your pass rate. So if you have students failing at your university, the parents will not want to send their children to your university.
Right.
In other words, it's in the university's interest to have a very good pass rate.
Sure.
And all of my Chinese friends and colleagues, they've all told me how easy university is. It's basically a time to relax, and that's when you get to just chill out.
The funny thing is, it's a polar opposite of the West, where we have such a relaxed life during our primary, middle, and high school, but then university is the time to buckle down. It's really difficult, and some universities have very low pass rates.
Correct.
So it's the polar opposite of China, really.
So, Similk, you're a professor.
Stop laughing.
Sorry, just keep imagining you in a tweed jacket with like
I have a tweed jacket.
and a purple bow tie or something.
I don't have that.
Okay, anyway. I actually was a student in a Chinese university for a short time.
Okay.
I went to study a Chinese language course. That's where I learned how to read and write Chinese.
Oh, okay.
And it's absolutely true what you said. It's almost impossible to fail. In fact, we had our teachers telling us the answers to the exam just before the exam happened. And even during the exam, they wouldn't bat an eyelid if someone pulled out a cell phone and looked up the answers on their phone.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. And it really, to be honest, it really spoiled it for me, because I put in a lot of hard work.
Sure.
And then you've got people who basically didn't attend, and they were just there for like a student visa or something, and they would pass and get the same certificates as I did, and that was really kind of an annoying thing. So yes, universities are a little bit of a joke, to be honest. So let's go see this place where you profess.
I think you guys will be shocked at the quality of the classroom.
Okay. Well, how about you show us? Do you think we can get in there?
We're gonna try.
Okay.
All right, here's my building.
This one?
Yep. The Collaborative Innovation Center of Huizhou Optoelectric Industry Key Technology.
Right. Well, how about we get off and do a little bit of a walk and talk?
Sounds A-okay.
So, Similk, we're here in the courtyard, right? Those are all classrooms up there?
Yep, that's true. Now, the thing about these universities is that a lot of them are in really bad shape, and a lot of them are open air like this, and there's no heat and no air conditioning, so it is miserable to teach here.
Now, the Shenzhen University was a fair amount better than this. We did have air conditioning, but to be honest, it didn't work half the time. And yes, it was a little bit run down, but they did have some nice buildings.
Okay.
I'm sure there are some nice buildings here too. Why is there a mirror? Just so you can sort out your hair.
Every morning before class, I come here and I sort out my hair.
Hey Similk, I don't know about you, but I think I'd feel very enthused to study if I had to come here every day.
Dude, I know why all the students, when I peer into the other classrooms, I know why they're sleeping. This is like a Soviet Union block. Seriously, it's bad.
It's not the picture of lovely creativity or anything like that. Anyway, I'm sure with a lick of paint, these walls would look better. Right, Similk, so since the door's locked, we're going to have to look through the window. Maybe you can tell us what's going on inside here.
These are all the students' desks here. They're very, very small and in really bad shape, and sometimes the chairs fall down. But anyway, up front is where I'm at. That's my podium up there for my classroom, and we have a blackboard, not a whiteboard, but we do have a screen that comes down with a projector, so some high technology. Unfortunately, we're still using Windows XP.
Yeah.
This over here, the students every day have to write new propaganda about saving water, join the party, you should help your fellow classmates, China's awesome, Mao Zedong, blah, blah, blah. So it's pretty interesting that they have to do that by hand, like every day.
Well, I mean, there are some nice messages there. I think it's good to save water.
For sure.
It's a finite resource.
I'm going to shut my room.
Okay, so that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
What do you say we get out of here?
Sounds good. I don't want to be at work on my holiday.
Cool. Right, so that's pretty much it for this episode on education. So anything you'd like to say, Sea Milk?
Thank you for watching as always, and thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing.
And as always, if you don't like, comment, or subscribe, at least try your best to stay awesome.